Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Thoughtcast. Today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Neeta Wali, who is a prominent Indian educator and has over 40 years of experience. Known for her inspiring roles as Director Principal at G.D. Goenka School and Director Academics of the MVN Group of Schools, Dr. Bali has left an indelible mark on education. A prolific author with books published on Amazon.in, including a collection of essays for Madhuban, she is also a sought after speaker at educational conferences across India, sharing her expertise on curricula, psychology, and career counseling. So, without any further ado, let's dive into her remarkable journey.
Good morning, ma'am. It is a pleasure to have you here today. And first of all, we would just like to start this off by acknowledging how glad we are that you were able to carve out some time out of your schedule for us. I'm Pritha and this is Akshiti, and we're honored to have you as the very first guest on the very first installment of our Thoughtcast. It's the name for our podcast, kind of a working title, but we like it. And to start us off, we actually have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a very beautiful gift. It's handmade, I can see. Honored to be here on your podcast, as you call it. That's the first time I've heard thoughtcast for a podcast. But I hope I'm able to do justice to your expectation. But thank you for having me here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be part of your first thoughtcast.
First person we're ever interviewing, like a full-on first time. Yes, ma'am. So to start this off, how was your morning?
My morning was great. It usually is great. It starts very early, but I start my day with prayer at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then go on with my day plan for my day, and of course start out for work. So for me, mornings are a beautiful time, a time when I internalize, I'm with myself, I'm able to introspect, I'm able to plan, and then because I'm able to plan well, I'm able to execute well. So my mornings are generally very fruitful, very focused, and prepare me well for the day that I'm looking forward to.
Well, that's a great approach to have. We can't relate because it's about catching the bus.
I can understand.
The bus is more important.
Yes, at your age I couldn't have done that as well.
I don't think anyone can, honestly.
Yeah.
So
on a scale of oh god, it's Monday to thank god it's Friday, how do you feel today?
Well, I never say, oh God, it's Monday. I say, thank God it's Monday. Because I look forward to work. Honestly speaking, I think a lot of different people derive their identities from different things. And I derive my identity from my work. And that has been so for the last 40 years. So I look forward to Mondays and say, thank God it's Monday. And when it's Friday, I say, well, thank God it's Friday because at least there is a Saturday and Sunday to look forward to. At least there's some respite. And help me to prepare for the next week. But I look forward to Mondays.
So how do you prepare for your next week?
As I said, I plan for the week. I generally do macro planning for the month, followed by micro planning for the week, and of course planning for the next day. Like I shared with you, I get up very early in the morning, so I kind of work around my day in the early hours of the morning, because if I were to reach office without having planned, and I generally do it in a diary. So it's because as soon as I enter my office, there is a very clear set of jobs that I need to attend to during the day, and of course there is work that I need to delegate to my team. So I start that early in the morning, and at the end of the day, when I've finished the different jobs that I've chalked out for the day, I keep marking. So for me, planning is at a macro level and then at a micro level. So macro level planning happens for, say, almost 6 months, followed by smaller chunks, which is monthly planning, followed by weekly planning and then daily planning. So that's how I work.
Well, again, you mentioned stress. So honestly, we acknowledge the fact that you have like a very busy schedule, so much responsibility, so many people to again delegate tasks to guide and to support. So how do you support yourself when it gets hectic or overwhelming or just hard to handle? Because even you must have limits. No?
Yeah, sure. There is stress which is work related. There is stress which is related to your day-to-day living. When you're doing mundane tasks also, those tasks will also create stress. But one of the things that I do is I'm a very spiritually inclined person. So I think for me, SQ, a lot of people, there are two or three things that I have been speaking about again and again. One, of course, is the EQ, the emotional quotients. The other is AQ, which is adversity quotients, because a lot of people are not able to deal with adversity. And none of us talk about AQ. Everybody talks about EQ and IQ. So AQ is very important, the ability to be able to cope with adverse, unforeseen circumstances. And the other, of course, is SQ. I'm a strong believer in SQ. So when I say SQ, I am talking about spiritual quotients. So I think everybody needs something to fall back on, something which is your support system. And for me, spirituality, I'm not talking about religion per se, I'm talking about spirituality. So I have practiced Buddhism in the past, which is again philosophy and not a religion. But at the moment, of course, I do chant once in a way. And in Buddhism there is chanting, I do that once in a way. But in any case, as I said, I'm a deeply spiritual person. So I read parts of the scripture. I pray in the early hours of the morning. I think an hour and a half is just dedicated to prayer, which again is religion agnostic, because my prayers are not associated with any religion per se. So they're completely religion agnostic prayers. So I think that helps you to de-stress. Yeah.
Anything apart from spirituality that you unwind?
I love music. So I like to take small walks, not long strenuous walks, but small walks when I listen to music. And I think once you listen to music, you come back completely revived.
Any piece of advice you would give to students or teachers who might be silently struggling as well? Any advice for them?
My first piece of advice is, as I told you earlier, don't bottle up your emotion. Okay? Bottled up emotion festers and turns into a wound. It is important that you find somebody you can trust. Find someone you can trust, someone who's going to create a safe space for you where you can go and vent your emotion. So please vent your emotion and seek support. Don't hesitate, ask for help. It is important to ask for help, because when people shy away from asking for help, they suffer silently. And then it becomes a vicious cycle, which is irredeemable. You can't do much about it. So seek help.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Thoughtcast. A huge thank you to Ms. Neeta Wali ma'am for joining us for this conversation, and to everybody who's watching us. We
Stay
appreciate you a
thoughtful.
lot.
Stay thoughtful, stay kind.
Stay thoughtful, stay kind, and we'll see you in the next one.
From our interview with Dr. Neeta Bali, we learned that managing stress is about finding balance, not just for students but for everyone. She shared how her own spirituality helps her stay grounded, and how taking solo vacations or spending time with family allows her to reset and keep perspective. It really showed us that self care isn't selfish, it's necessary. We also learned about the strategies the school has put in place for students facing mental health challenges. Things like established programs and strategies, and the availability of counselors in every branch of the school with doors open for students. Overall, this conversation helped us see that mental health isn't just an individual responsibility, it's something the whole school community can support together. We've taken away so much from this experience, and we can't wait to bring you more candid conversation with other voices in our community. So stay tuned for the next few episodes of the Thoughtcast.